Yes, here we go. We asked the bus. It's been a long time since I've done one of the old solo shows. It's been a long time. Good to see you all. And get live in the chat and we'll get some conversation going. Remember, do all that good stuff. Gives a like, gives a share. In some cases, buy some hair. Remember, and hit the subscribe button if you've not done that before. There's a bell button as well, so you never miss a bus. Sometimes they come in late at night. We used to do loads of late night shows. It's a bit old school for the bus. Going later on. But first and foremost, apologies because we've been a wee bit quiet of late. Don't worry about the PMP. Someone asked me on Twitter, and me and Terry fell out. When did we fall in? That's what I want to know. I didn't know we could fall out. But no, just with the PMP, there's just been a couple of things on. I was at a party on Saturday and stuff, so couldn't do it there. I'm going to the game tomorrow, so the bad news is there won't be an immediate post-match push from us, sadly, tomorrow night either. But I'm blessed that I got a ticket just at the last minute from a loyal supporter, Ashley Flash Flannery, who managed to sort the bus out with a wee ticket just at the last minute. So I'm looking forward to it. A big shout out to all who's watching. And remember, do get some points because I'm looking to get through as many as we can. Because do you know what? It's been a decent wee few days in the world of Celtic. I mean, we're watching a Celtic side now with. I want to talk about him first, and I want your take on this. We'll go through different subjects as we go on. The first one I want to talk about is Daizen Maeda, because the big man is on fucking fire. And when he started the game against Wraith, no questions were asked. There was no one wondering, oh, well, why is he playing, the match in this game? We've got a huge run at the midweek. No one had any idea there was this potential that Daizen Maeda would be able to have a successful appeal as short notice as it seems it's came across before the game kicked off. That was a big surprise to me. I think it was a surprise to everyone. But what a pleasant one it was. Because we've literally got a player right now. I think Roger's been peacocking about Maeda a wee bit. I was talking about it when I was speaking with Mark on Thursday. And I mentioned, no, it wasn't with Mark. Sorry, I put it in the live chat. Me and Mark covered a lot of stuff Brendan said at the presser. And then on the live chat during Phil's show, the Friday feeling, I had said in there, did anyone twig when Brendan had mentioned Daizen Maeda has movement on another level from Kyogo? What's that effect? I'm pretty sure that was maybe not an exact quote, but it's pretty close. And I thought to myself, I was like, fucking hell, it was a bit of a stab. Obviously supporting the player he's got as well. But I think when you look at it right now, here's the question I'll put to you first and foremost. When we play Bayern tomorrow and there's a 50-50 goal scoring opportunity to come, whose faith would you have in more to score it and to finish it off? Would it be Daizen Maeda? Or would it have been Kyogo Furuhashi, who obviously isn't part of the picture now, but just a hypothetical question. And I think I'm leaning towards Maeda. Now, there could be recency bias involved in that, but everything's relevant as well in terms of this season. That's all we can go by. And Maeda this season has been, I think, a far more natural finisher as someone who's shown composure of a level that we weren't used to. And all the good bits he brought before, he's now managed to add to that with, I think, just a level of football and maturity, which Brendan was talking about a hell of a lot in the pre-match to this game. I think he's a huge weapon that none of us seem to think were happening. And I think maybe subconsciously, and again, get your points and I'll read some out. I think sometimes when you think about why we were so despondent, and the theory was, well, we've basically given up in the Champions League. We're glad to be there. We're happy we're there. And, or in the last 24, I should say. But I think that a lot of that, maybe subconsciously, was based on the fact we thought Daizen Maeda wouldn't be playing that first leg. And without anything from the first leg even close to positive, then there's whether you bring Maeda back for the away leg or not, we're fucked, right? For want of a better term. I'm looking at it now going, maybe with that arrival, can we revisit that viewpoint? Can we now look at that and go, do you know what? I'm actually I don't think we've given up on it, albeit Celtic weren't aware that we're going to have Maeda, so we don't take our eyes off the board, guys. We don't take our eyes off the board, but when I include Maeda in Celtic's lineup now, I'm trying to think of a player in my Celtic supporting lifetime that I've heard is available for a game that's given me such a lift. And that has been few and far between. Let's go to some comment flashes already in. Kyogo would likely have been offside with one of him. Chilpill says we aren't missing Kyogo so far. But Gigi would rather Kyogo for one of those 50-50 chances. And that's absolutely fine. I'm leaning towards Maeda right now based on his finishing, Gigi, to be honest with you, mate. It's just, for me, that's just where I'm at on it now. I just think he's shown a level-headedness that we weren't quite sure he always had in front of goal. And especially as well, when you look at the number of assists he's got, everything seemed to be before with randomness. Everything now seems to be with design with Daizen Maeda. So I'm looking forward to this game 10 times more. That might be an exaggeration, but who cares? We'll roll with it. With Daizen Maeda being in that lineup now, when we didn't know he was going to be. Now we get to the next interesting conversation, which again, I need your input on. I'm going to really go for it now. I think Martin Weir's going to kick us off. But who do we play? We've got 4 now to choose from for this game tomorrow. And someone's going to be unlucky not to start. And I'll tell you why. Because Nicholas Kuhn has the best goals and assist record at the club right now. Daizen Maeda is in the better form than Nicholas Kuhn right now. And that's a tally that is just shy of his overall anyway. Adameda's in the best form, I would say, this season so far in a Celtic shirt, and is as close to looking like the Adameda that we had on loan last year that was so pivotal in us winning the trophies, the 2 trophies at the end of the season that we did. But then enter Jota. And you start going, fuck. Jota. Is he fit yet? Is he fit yet? Well, Jota's equaled Yang's goals and assist contributions, I think, in less than 90 minutes that he's had about, fuck knows, too many starts anyway for me. When I look at that and I go, that's a healthy competition there. Someone's going to be unlucky. Personally, I think it'll be Jota who misses out. And it's an easy alibi when you can say it's about the fitness. I also think the pace of the 2 wingers, Kuhn and Maeda, who have been in such great goal-scoring form, that could catch teams out. Because Vincent Kompany's side is going to play a high press. They're going to play one way, the Vincent Kompany way, the way they've got relegated with Burnley, the way that is underwhelmed Bayern fans at times. And then now I think it's come together a wee bit this season, to be fair. But I think to pick 3 out those 4 being a tricky decision shows me Celtic's in a better place than we were. Let's look into the comments and see what you guys think. There's David Lowe. No, he's not mentioning that competition, so we'll move on. Let's have a wee look. Martin Weir. Maeda, Ida, Kuhn. Jota, Maeda, Kuhn the last 30 minutes. Then give Daizen a week off. I don't know if he likes a week off, Martin. I don't know if a week off works for Daizen. I don't think he takes a minute off. The only guy I think so would, obviously I'm just stealing it. But they'd said, he's that fast that he even speeded up a 2-match ban for a 1-match ban, which I thought was hilarious. But I think you're right. I think that will be the tactic, albeit I think when you get to, if you're in this sort of environment next season, I would be looking at that and going, well, Jota's the creative player who can unlock doors when the opposition are still coming at the same sort of pace as you. I think once you get a couple of tired legs at there, now I appreciate they're all crazily fit specimens that we're going to be coming up against and the elite footballers, elite sportsmen of the top level. But I think sometimes it'd be more of a wicked sort of substitute to bring on probably Nicholas Kuhn for Jota in this being of form right now, whilst Maeda's in his. And that pace then really hurting them when their legs maybe just getting a wee bit tight. I'm not saying they're struggling, but just getting a wee bit tight. But I think, Martin, you've probably got it right. Ali asked a great question. So would you play Ida or Maeda as striker? No, Ali. On that one, I think, again, it goes back to the Jota decision. Jota's started 1, came on as a sub in 2. He looks fresh as I expect him to look, which is too good. Too good for this domestic level of football we play in. I think he is a proper bona fide Celtic top talent that we've seen over the last few years. But I think the alibi's there, and there's probably sports science evidence and all that shite that maybe him starting would go against logic. Adam Ida would probably, though, I think if it was Brendan making his decision with all 400% fit, I think it'd be Adam Ida who would be the trickier one for him to leave out. However, I look at Adam Ida's performance in his last Champions League game in Aston Villa in Birmingham, and those 2 goals are fantastic. But he played with a streak to him that we were desperate to see. Particularly when we pay £9 million for a player, we all expect probably more than what 9 million actually gets you in the current market, to be honest with you, right? However, when it comes down to it, I think the three most effective players in Rodgers' system are actually the one that isn't Adam Ida. However, Adam Ida, when it comes, I think for this game, we're definitely going to need to start with him, and then we see what we do when Jota comes on. Can he uncarve the fixture against Bayern? And can he do something creative when we need it? And the key will be about whoever it is that gets picked. The sub that comes on, the key is when they come on, what impact can they have? And what purpose and what outcome? We don't want to be out the game by the time we bring one of these guys on, is the point I'm trying to make. We want to still be within it. We want to be in the contest, if not in the lead. Who knows? But hopefully, by the time it comes to a Jota coming on, which I expect it to be, it's because he's going to be ready to play some sort of crazy passes that make that Bayern defence turn on their heels very quick and struggle, to be honest with you, to deal with then the lightning pace or physicality, if Adam Ida's still on, to deal with. But it's interesting to go in with a fully fit squad and Daizen Maeda is now part of it. I think that's a big thing. The other thing that appeals to me about playing against Bayern Munich and not playing against Real Madrid, or could it have been Man City? I can't remember. But I watched that game tonight and thought, with those 2 teams there, I think there'd be less opportunity. I think you've got 2 managers. I know Pep's having a supposed tough time now, but in their terms, fucking hell. But I look at the way Bayern play, And I just think they could be got at more. I still think when we go away, it's going to be an uphill battle, an Everest-esque challenge when we go over there. No matter what the score is in the first leg, even if we have got a lead. But I think the best chance we had of having a lead when I watched against Man City and Real Madrid, I think definitely would be Bayern, because I think they're one of the teams. Now, Company's got far better players than Ange Postecoglou's Celtic had in the Champions League, for example. But Ange Postecoglou's Celtic did exactly what they would say on the tin. They played the exact same way every game. You know what you're against, you know our weaknesses, and we'll believe in our bravery to overcome the weaknesses that we've got. Now, when it comes down to it, I just think I don't know. I just think that the thought of playing against Real Madrid, watching what they can do in the last 5 minutes tonight, or playing against maybe a team that's going to be too open, gung ho, and you know how to play, we've got a better chance, just a wee bit of a better chance. That's what I hope. That's what I hope anyway. Now, other things. Not everything in Celtic land, of course, is only European wise. We've got the phenomenally funny scorelines from the weekend. I don't know what. I mean, I don't know what to make of that performance that our rivals put in against Queen's Park, but we never got an opportunity on the bus to kind of laugh at it. So whenever you're already, you can put some laughters in the live chat, of course, whenever you're ready. But I just felt with that one as well, it was another. That's what you're up against. Surely by now we should always be wanting, from a Celtic perspective, to judge ourselves on the European stage, because, as Daryl just rightfully points out there, how do you lose 3-0 to them? It makes no sense. They were utterly terrible at the weekend. And my theory is with them, whenever the pressure's on, they don't like it. Now, I'm not saying there's a great deal of pressure in terms of going into a game at home to Queen's Park. But of course, if it's not to go your way midway through that game, they'll start feeling it massively. They'll start feeling it massively purely on the basis that if they were to get an adverse result, they're out of a competition. So that brings its own pressure. Whenever you see Rangers without a 15-point deficit in their hands, they're shite bags. And I think the other thing that you could kind of see transfer over into that is Europe, where it's not about pressure like you get domestically, but what it is a lack of expectation. Albeit the fans can shout and swear all they want, but really everyone knows after becoming the worst Champions League side of all time, they don't have any expectation in Europe. So when those shackles are off, they can play okay. They're an okay side. They top 8 in Europa League. I don't think it's that bad. But you put them in the domestic environment when the heat's on, and they're so far off it. And I wonder, on that thought, that when you see them playing against Celtic in January, at the beginning of January, you start to think to yourself, the reason they put in such a performance is because the league campaign wasn't nip and tuck. It was far from nip and tuck. It was instead a free hit for them because they knew the league was done. Now, one other topic I wanted to talk about, and we'll make it just under half hour of the show. The other topic I wanted to talk about was, of course, something that a lot of our fans take a lot of pleasure in, and I'm still a bit confused myself as to how I'm viewing the latest interim figures that get released. They get released they've just been released up to the 31st of December. Celtic's posting record profits. It's celebrated. They're posting £65 million cash in the bank now. Brilliant. That all sounds good. Celtic also sold their, and Brendan's, in my opinion, this season based on games. First pick strikers. First pick striker they've sold and not replaced. Jota came in to an area or department of the squad that needed serious upgrading. The fall off between either Maeda or Nicholas Kuhn not starting to Yang was so much that you had to get someone else in. You had to get real competition. And that's what we did with Jota. They're not saying a replacement striker. That wrangles with me, especially then when you knew this would happen. A week or so later, the accounts would be released. And when you see the accounts, you go, was there an excuse not to then, just because you broke your record twice, which the headlines are going with. And I believe the headlines go with that because Celtic want them to run with, despite breaking transfer record twice, Celtic post record profits, as if that's amazing. Or still 65 million in the bank, despite Celtic breaking transfer record twice. I think Celtic have just proven that they could have broke their transfer record again if it were to be Rich Garden that they wanted. If it were to be him. But to not get anyone, I think with that money there and that 4-1 from Kyogo's situation, I'm a wee bit tired of celebrating balance sheets. And I don't know. I don't know if it'll come more into the. I don't know if it'll come more into the mind's eye if. And obviously, I don't want it to happen. But if it were to be a terrible result tomorrow, like a panning at home, like a PSG type of esque result at home, if that were to happen, and we were to be left then looking at a club celebrating again numbers on balance sheets without the reinforcements we felt could have been done. And when I say reinforcements, it's just been bog standard stuff like sell your first pick striker, replace him with a bona fide proper striker, which I think Brendan expected to get. Obviously the Jota one I think was a fantastic bit of business, but again, look at the wing options that you had. They were shite. So something had to happen there. Anyway, that shouldn't mean that we spent big money on one. We don't spend big money on two players because it's January. Nobody cares, mate. What fucking month it is. What window it is. If you're gonna let your first pick striker go, you have to have then a plan in that same window to replace it, particularly when you've got fans to back into the idea of getting to the latter stages of the Champions League. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is the balance sheets are great to be celebrated if it's all just a point and laugh at Rangers thing. But if it's you taking Celtic seriously on the European stage, then with the evidence they're giving you, they're providing this evidence, no one else. They're showing you the numbers they've got, the tools they have to provide the manager with the best possible equipment. Do you think they've done that? And do you think that looks like a side that's taken the Champions League as seriously as they should? Or, as we said at the start of the show, does it all go back to us putting all our hopes and Daizen Maeda just carrying on where he's the incredible form that he's in right now? Let's go through a few of the comments. Christy says Ryan McGinley's in the house. If he is, big shout out to you, Ryan. He does some fantastic work with a guy I love to death, Tony Haggerty. So that is brilliant. Monty, I'm definitely not posting that Everest comment up on the screen. Michelle would love to see Brendan Rodgers manage Rangers for one game to see the difference. I'm not sure what the difference would be, but I think it'd take a miracle. I think even Brendan Rodgers wouldn't be able to do much with that lot right now. Maybe he'd probably get through Queen's Park right enough. Maybe that could have been the one game, Queen's Park. You never know. And GG, I think you're absolutely spot on bringing that in. If Ida gets injured, it'll become an issue revisited. That's very true as well. I think that's a great point that you make there because, yes, the result against Bayern, some will be easier to handle a bad defeat tomorrow if it does occur. But then they might open their eyes a wee bit to how stupid a situation we're in if there were to be an injury to Daizen Maeda. Of course, Daizen Maeda's playing winger up front, probably play centre half before the end of the season as well. No one has a clue. Right, okay. Anyway, just wanted to do a wee 25-minute show. And apologies again for the lack of PMPs. And apologies, there won't be one tomorrow night as well. But the Thursday night forum will be back. It'll be me and the judge. We'll get that sorted and we'll be covering loads. And hopefully, maybe Marco gives an hour and a half of his time instead of just an hour. But in the meantime, I will let you all go. Enjoy the rest of your night. And yes, here's hoping that tomorrow we get a win. I've got a feeling we're going to give them a few problems. I don't want to give a score, but I think we'll definitely give them a scare throughout the 90 minutes. Take it easy. See you later.